In the past few months, I've been asked a lot whether the pandemic has brought the good or the bad out of the people here in New York City. Well, I don't really have a general answer for that because I see what surrounds me. I've seen people going a little bit crazy, behaving not very respectfully towards other people, but I've also seen very beautiful behaviors, and today I'm gonna show you one of them. In fact, I am right now on 6th Street in Manhattan in the East Village, and I'm about to go meet two of my best friends here in the neighborhood. While quarantining at home, Momad and Sasha had the idea of actually doing something useful for the community to help other people out. In a few seconds, they are gonna tell you what this project is about, and you are gonna be amazed, I promise. Hey Sasha!
Hey Mary Jane, come in, let me show you the kitchen.
First of all, I just want to leave Sasha to explain you what kind of a project this is.
So the project's called EV Loves NYC, or EV Loves NYC, and we started it a couple of weeks into the pandemic when we heard how many people were short of food in New York. It was started by myself, Sasha, and my partner Mamad, and we're both in very different industries. Mamad's in tech, myself, I've got a writing company here.
So far, including today, we made nearly 42,000 separate meals. When we started, we were making around 500 meals a day, and on the peak of the pandemic, we were making nearly 4,000 meals in one day of cooking, with nearly 30 people cooking and like 12 hours. We are now back to making around 1,500 to 2,000 meals a day. Every day we make sure that we make a wide range of dishes, from like vegan dishes to chicken dishes and red meat dishes. So for example, today we are making braised Greek chicken for you. So here, as you see, we boil the chicken to make sure that it gets to the temperature. We have let them marinate for 4 to 6 hours, in those pots, which is balsamic, olive oil, paprika, and like oregano. Here you can see they are like all being marinated. Then we braise them here, and then it will go on top of that rice dish that we saw, that we can go and see that together. We already have the rice cooked and ready. Then we are having the braised cabbage. We put a layer of feta, and then after that, as we are gonna add chopped olives to that. The next will be the braised onions will come on top of it, and finally those pieces of chicken will sit on top of it. So, because we believe that just because this is for less fortunate people doesn't mean that they should eat like low quality food. We try to make gourmet food all the time. This is probably the nicest meal you have ever made.
You say that every week?
Yeah, I say that.
What's your name?
I'm Katrina.
Katrina, are you from New York City?
Not really, but I've been here about 16, 17 years.
Sasha, you're not even an original New Yorker, right? Both you and Mamad.
Exactly, yeah. I was born in the UK. I came here around about 7 years ago. Mamad was born in Iran, lived in Italy, and came here around about 8 years ago. So yeah, we weren't born here, but we've always felt very kind of connected to the city and very connected to some of the food challenges that are here anyway. So a couple of weeks into the pandemic, we got a phone call from a friend. He's actually a religious guy. He works with people like homeless populations. And he told us that all the food in New York was like really short. All the restaurants weren't providing for people anymore. And there was a massive shortage of cooked food. So when we heard that story and we found out that that was the case, then we felt really compelled to start and do some cooking. So there was my partner Mamad, myself, and a neighbour Helen, and originally we were going to cook in a garden You know, we had nowhere to cook. But then our friend Ali, who's got a cafe called Cafe C&B, he offered us the cafe. And so we literally, for the first week, we went around to friends, we asked for donations, we literally like asked everybody we knew, and we collected a small amount of money, went to the local restaurant depot and literally just cooked with the money from the friends and in the cafe that we borrowed. That cafe was like working in the daytime, and we took the cafe at the nighttime and cooked at the nighttime. And then probably about 5 or 6 weeks into the project, New York had an extra level of challenge in that there was a lot of kind of like rioting and looting at that time. And so unfortunately the cafe that we were at got looted. And all the windows were smashed up. So this place, the 6th Street Community Centre, they literally offered for us to use this space in that time. And this is like probably like 30 or 40 times the size of the cafe. So what that meant is we could expand and cook more meals and like go from cooking maybe 500 or 600 meals in a day to sometimes here we've cooked like 3,000 or 4,000 meals in a day.
Our key element is to keep the food like as affordable as possible while super healthy, nutritious and full of protein. Considering that we are all volunteers here and the space is everything is literally donated. The only money that we spend is to get the ingredients that are not donated to us. So we can put a meal together for around 85 cents. We always try to have at least 3 different servings, 3 different type of meal at every cooking that we do.
Mohammad, what is gonna be the menu for today?
So for today, we did rice with a lot of vegetables like zucchini, broccoli and all these vegetables. Then we make a homemade meatloaf. Goes on top of that, and then our homemade sauce that goes on top of it. Go on. Like that? Yeah, like that, and then keep it on the same flat, so this crispy top to be on top. Okay. Yeah, exactly. This is our red meat. For our white meat dish is the one that you saw there. And finally, we also had our vegan lentil stew with turmeric onions, which was really good. That's a Middle Eastern dish that is like top notch. In Middle East, we call it adas polo.
If you look at them working, they are really not in a rush. They take their time, they chat to each other sometimes, they take the time for a laugh, and yet they have prepared already so many trays of food.
I'm making cake.
Nice. Do you make dessert every time you prepare food?
Yeah, we try to because meals aren't just for calories or whatever. We want it to be fun too, you know.
That's amazing. This is how hard everyone here is working.
Brilliant.
Sash?
Yes.
The other pot is becoming empty, so I'm bringing it so you can pour the juice and flow.
It's not hot though, the
No, the wine is cold.
Okay, great.
There's more chicken, right?
Yeah. There's more marinated.
You have to see the cake in the oven. Hold on, keep it open.
Smells so good.
A lot of times, to be honest, what we cook depends on what's on sale that week. For example, this week we got 50 pounds of cabbage for like $3 because it was on sale. Then, it's kind of always going backwards, see what we have and see, okay, now what we can make with that. So it's actually pretty fun. During the week, we cook twice a week, and the rest of that is like we have this funny WhatsApp group message with like 5 or 6 chefs and cooks that we are brainstorming. Guys, we have this, what can we put together for the week? Every week we change our recipe. We never make same thing twice because most of this goes to the similar people or same people, so we want to always give them something very exciting. So we also try to be you know, taking something from every nation, like Middle Eastern food. Like today we made Greek food, you know, we made a lot of French, Colombian food, we have done Venezuelan food, Indian and Pakistani food. We don't just give them like a basic rice and chicken, you know, we give them something that they get excited about. Here is Lele, our Italian chef.
Oh, wow.
And on this other side we have Sheena, our Indian chef. So we mix up all the dishes a bit together.
I must say that I'm very impressed by the fact that these dishes are not very simple and basic dishes. They are kind of complex with many different ingredients, many flavors, different layers. They could have done dishes that are much more simple than this, much more basic, that just give the calories, but as someone was saying earlier, it's not only about the calories, it's about giving these people also food to enjoy.
And one of the things that I've loved about it is you've really seen the good in people with this project, you know, like you've really seen people want to come forward and offer help.
Speaking of small details that make the difference, look at how Sasha prepares these trays.
And we make this food in mass. We are going to be stacking them in an ambulance and they're going to be going all the way around the city. So we've got to make sure that we close them well because we've had a couple of days where we've had accidents and it's all kind of like tumbled down. So this is something we've learned from experience. We've got to close them well.
Mama, you're also a non-profit, right?
Yeah, so actually when we started, we thought that it's just gonna be a few days of cooking and that's it. But as it went on, we realized that the demand is getting bigger and bigger. So sometime half the way, we also decided to apply for the non-profit status. So now we are also an official non-status. So also if anyone would like to donate, that donation is tax deductible and we can issue all the forms and stuff for that.
Where can we find you guys?
Sure, you can find us on our website, which is evloves.nyc. It represents East Village Loves New York City. Also, we have a great Instagram account. It's new, but you should check it out. We are growing and it's really fun.
Check it out. I remember at the beginning the project was called EV Loves Queens.
Exactly, yeah.
And now it turned into EV Loves New York City because you really expanded.
Exactly. So I don't know if you can see the back of my t-shirt there, like EV Loves NYC. So yeah, we were originally EV Loves Queens, but as we realized we were not just serving Queens, but we were serving like the whole city, we expanded to become EV Loves NYC. We're New Yorkers. We believe that New Yorkers should go hungry, and we want to, as much as possible, impact the challenges.
Is everything packed?
Yeah, everything's packed.
The truck has just arrived
Oh my
outside.
god, exciting moment. Yeah, we're going to load it all on. This is the moment that we've all been working towards.
Woohoo! Let me show you the loading moment because this is the best moment of the day for these guys.
I'll go for
The chain starts from here.
Chicken.
Big love done.
Done. Yeah, chicken.
Rudolph, my dear, the forecast ain't clear.
How satisfying is this moment for you?
Wonderfully satisfying.
Really the fun time.
The fruits of the labour.
So how many meals are there here
So
today?
today we actually ended up something around 1,400 meals. Only.
Rudolph, my man, you're the only one who can.
Let's not remember who shows up at the very end when all the cooking work is finished to clean up all the plates. Right, Stefan?
Yeah, purgatory.
You have seen how they work. This is really what they do.
Also, you can see my hand.
You can see Mama's hand. He burned himself last week while working here. So you can see how much heart, how much effort, how much of their time they put into this project.
Thank you, Mary Jane, for coming and being
Thank you,
part of
Mary Jane.
this.
We love your channel.
Thank you.